What's up, Jolinator Club? Alright, so, once again, this is a Marvel review, so I got my Marvel poster behind me, and today I'm continuing my X-Men reviews with X2, X-Men United. So hopefully by now you guys have been able to watch my first review, the first review that I did of the original X-Men. If you haven't watched that video yet, watch that. But, for those of you who have seen it, and you're here for my review of X2, welcome. Alright. So, X2, X-Men United is, of course, the sequel to X-Men, came out in 2003, once again directed by Bryan Singer, stars most of the same cast from the original film: Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Hugh Jackman, Halle Berry, James Marsden, and whatnot. So, in X2, X-Men United, Stryker is the one who is looking into the Mutant Registration Act, and he sends Nightcrawler to attack the president, and now the X-Men have to come out and go against Stryker. At the same time, Magneto is also involved, and the X-Men have to team up with him in order to, in order to win. I know that might seem like a bit of a rusty description of the synopsis, but in all honesty, guys, it's been a while since I've seen this movie, so forgive me. In any case, once again, I'm going to get pretty deep with X2, X-Men United, spoiler-filled, of course. Alright, now the one thing that really surprised me about X2, X-Men United is the fact that it is better than the original X-Men film. Not all sequels are better than the original, but in my opinion, X2 definitely is. X-Men is a good film, but X2 is a great film. It feels like Bryan Singer with the original X-Men film, like he was just trying to, toy around with his idea a little bit before eventually going forward and doing what the X-Men actually were. With X2, he did that full fruition. Now, X2, hands down, is the definitive way to do two villains in the same movie. Magneto and Stryker are not friends. They don't team up, and when one of them dies, it doesn't, it feels necessary, and it doesn't feel like you're just watching somebody that you don't like fall off the edge of a cliff or get blown into a million pieces. Hope I'm not the only person thinking of Venom at this moment. At the same time, Stryker basically is Magneto in the first X-Men film, only he's a human version. So in X2, instead of Xavier and Magneto being two sides of the same coin, Magneto and Stryker are. Because humans have repeatedly hurt Magneto, and while Stryker is afraid of humans, or mutants rather, Magneto is afraid of him. Okay, so that's the main reason why this movie works, is the villains. Because they both work really well, and I really like how they blend together, and the chemistry works very great. Okay, so now that I'm done with the villains, let's talk about the actual characters, the X-Men. Wolverine's origin is what am I saying here? Is done very well here, and although I enjoyed X-Men Origins Wolverine a little bit more than most people did, it did defeat a lot of what was done in X2. However, I do like relationships that Wolverine has with the other X-Men. For example, his relationship with Iceman. Iceman is a stronger character in this movie. I don't remember if he was even in the original X-Men film, but in this film, he definitely he's a stronger character, and he's more of a main character. Like there's one scene where it's in the middle of the night, and Iceman is in this little kitchen cafeteria thing, and Wolverine goes in, and Iceman cools off a soda bottle for Wolverine. This diffuses what could have been a bad relationship between these characters. This is a great way of how to display these two characters together. So that eventually when the X-Mansion is attacked and Wolverine stabs a bunch of soldiers to death, it doesn't seem forced or tacked on. And I like how Iceman deals with his family when we see them in the movie, but I don't like them at all. For one thing, Iceman's brother calls the police when he finds out that Iceman can turn tea into ice. This is one example of humans just not acting like real people in this movie. I mean, the idea is that humans often attack what they don't understand, but that isn't always true, and it shouldn't be portrayed that way. I mean, okay, this is a little bit of personal information about me, but I don't mind sharing it. I have an older sister, and if I had freezing powers, she would probably be amazed that I do that. She wouldn't call the police on me. Okay, so and then there's the scene where Iceman's mom says, "Have you tried not being a mutant?" Well, okay, it's a funny line, but it just diffuses how great characters could be portrayed in this movie. Okay, new characters. Nightcrawler is handled greatly. You know, he looks like he does. He's portrayed and looks just like he does in the comics, and he really works. I also like how they illustrate the fact that he is the son of Mystique, because it was there in the comics, and so that was really good too. And then you have Lady Deathstrike in this movie. Okay, not only is the fight between her and Wolverine so cool and, you know, awesome, but, let's see, Stryker tells Wolverine, that he, in a way, was part of his past. You know, like you were an animal then, you're an animal now, I just gave you claws. I'll get into that a little bit in the next few months when I eventually talk about the Wolverine. But, in the end, X2 is an absolutely fantastic film. Oh, wait, I forgot to talk about one thing. The Phoenix thing. Alright. I was getting pretty hyped to see what they would do with the Phoenix Saga in this movie, and then eventually that would lead into X-Men: The Last Stand. However, when Jean Grey eventually dies in the end, Wolverine asks Professor X, why did she die? And Professor X responds, because she made a choice. That's not a good reason. It's not a good enough reason, because that's like asking him, why did my girlfriend just fall off a cliff and commit suicide? And him saying, because she felt like it. That's not a good reason, but despite that, I have only a few minor gripes with X2, X-Men United. Nonetheless, I think it's a great movie, and I would say X2 is so nice, it is worth seeing thrice. Alright guys, so post your comments below. I want to know, have you seen X2, X-Men United? Hey, what are your thoughts on this, and what are your thoughts on no wait, I was going to ask what are your thoughts on what they did with the Phoenix Saga, but I'll get into that with X-Men 3. I'll ask you this. What is your favorite X-Men movie? I might have asked you that in my initial X-Men review, but just tell me again here. And as always, guys, thank you all for watching. And if you like this, like, comment, favorite, hit that subscribe button, and join the Cholinator Club. Just bump.